They did it, guys. They fucking did it. They finally made a Spider-Man story that I've been wanting. They haven't made it this good since the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. But they finally did it. They finally did it. Beautiful. Beautiful. I just finally played the Amazing Spider-Man game. And, of course, the Ps4 exclusive. And amazing story. This is the best story, like I said, since then. We've seen the Amazing Spider-Man movies. Horrible. And then the Marvel movies, people liked. I did not like them at all. Never did. I do not feel like this Spider-Man represents what Spider-Man is. And people kept saying we can't keep going back to the 60s Spider-Man and how he was in the 60s. This was a modern take on it. This is the modern take I've been wanting and dying for. This is what I wanted. They finally got it. They finally did it. And people said you can't make a Spider-Man like that. And yes, you can. You can finally make the Spider-Man I wanted. This is the Spider-Man I wanted. This is the one I've always been wanting. This is the one. This is the modernized version that we've always should have been using. This is the one. I like the gameplay as well. You can do some stealth. You can do some action. You just fight the people, or you can just take them out sneakily, which Spider-Man can do. Got the spider sense. It was just... gameplay is great. I will get to the bad, because there is some bad in this game. This game isn't just fully amazing, but story-wise, with Doc Ock, they have a new type of version of Doc Ock, because Doc Ock, when he was first introduced in the comics, he wasn't viewed as a good guy. He was kind of viewed as a jerk. Here, he's completely good, and eventually he turns evil. In the comics, he was more of a jerk, but he wasn't evil until the accident happened, then that made him really evil. And of course, the whole Peter Parker thing as his lab assistant didn't happen. That's what I'm saying. You can change some things. You can have a modernized version and do your different take as long as you keep Spider-Man how he is. And that's what I felt like Marvel did not do in their movies. Also, I gotta say, Doc Ock's fucking arms, they look fucking fantastic. Usually I don't like the changes, but I like this change a lot more. That is like a badass look for Doc Ock, I'm gonna say. The Sinister Six is here. You got Electro, all of them. Pretty much the same cast. Doc Ock usually always does lead the Sinister Six. I think Kraven the Hunter, that's the one they changed for Mr. Negative. And some people might not know that Martin Lee was going to be Mr. Negative if they didn't read the comics, or they just know nothing about Spider-Man really. Or they're coming new to Spider-Man and they just did not know. Not a big reveal for me. I knew as soon as I saw him, but some it might be a big reveal because some may just not know that much about Spider-Man and his rogues gallery like that. But the game makes you feel like Martin Lee is going to be the main protagonist. Then it switches to Doc Ock, and it switches pretty late. I do like the change because Mr. Negative as the main guy, not really. He does play a big role. It's a big part for him, but he really shouldn't have been the main guy. It always should have been Doc Ock, and that's where we are headed towards the end of the game. Now, I talked about the gameplay with the whole being able to sneak around and able to just fight people. There's a lot of things you can do with the webbing. There's a lot of upgrades and skills you can get. Also, there's a lot of suits you can try, and you can try which one fits your style the best. Now I'm going to talk about the bad. I talked about the gameplay, the story stuff. We'll talk about the bad here. And the bad is, of course, Miles Morales. I'll get to him later, but I'm going to talk about MJ first. MJ and their missions, their side missions are fucking pointless. I'm just going to say that. Oh, I never enjoyed doing any of them. They should have made it where you can skip it, like how you do with the Peter Parker lab thing, where you can skip that and you don't have to do it. That's how these missions should be. They're just fucking pointless. They're pointless missions. Really just, it stops the flow. It stops the flow. Every time I'm like about to go into their missions, I just like take a break. That's like, all right, it's my time to take a break. Play something else. Like they just stop the whole flow. Also, MJ story-wise, to me, she hasn't really been done right anyway. She hasn't been done right in even the Sam Raimi ones, which I love those movies, but that's really not MJ. MJ is not this good girl type of character. She's just not like that. She's flirtatious. She's party-oriented. She was a lingerie model and all that. Like, she's a flirtatious type of person, and the games and the movies really don't really show that side of her. I will say, I think the closest take we got was Spider-Man, the animated series. That's the closest version of the real MJ that we've gotten. Everything else has been like this good girl type. Like MJ's not this good polite. That's not her. That's just not her. It's not who Spider-Man went with. I get why they do it, because you don't want a flirtatious lingerie model probably in the game that kids are playing, but just saying, it's just not her. She's flirtatious. She used to say she loved to party. I'm not sure if I'm getting the right phrase right, but in the comics she used to be like, I'm a party person, party animal, something like that. I forget the exact phrase. Point being, she liked to party. She liked to do this. And she was very out there. She wasn't this good girl. She never really was the good girl at any time, honestly. Not even later on when they got married. She was never adapted into that. Now, for Miles Morales, it's just, I can't stand Miles every time. And honestly, why do we even need him? If he's gonna have his own game, couldn't they just like hinted at him? And do we really need him in this game? I've been done with Miles for forever. Like, if you didn't want to make him black now, then why are you making him black? Whatever. Point being is Miles Morales. That's the only other bad part. I mean, I've spoken enough on Miles Morales. He's just not Peter Parker Spider-Man. I'm sorry. This may come off as, what's the word? I guess not PC. I don't care. But it's pretty much like, as my opinion, like, I don't want a black version of Spider-Man. Everybody used to say that, everyone compared to Mask. That shit did not get adapted until recently. For 60s to all the way to the 90s until maybe the Clone Saga, there's been pretty much there's only been one Spider-Man. That was Peter Parker until the Clone Saga thing happened. Then we had a whole bunch. Then, of course, they had a future alternate one, but that's a little different. But, yeah, it's been Peter Parker. That's always been. It's always been that Spider-Man. But now we have Miles and other Spider-Man. It's not even just Miles. We have a whole bunch of other Spider-Mans. Just like, why? Why? I just never understood that. It's like, do we need those? And there should only be one Spider-Man. Just like there's really only one Batman, only one Superman. It's cool if you have an alternate take like that Superman Red Sun thing. Or, yeah, that storyline where he was born in Russia. It's cool if you have an alternate type of thing. But for him to take over like he did in Ultimate Spider-Man, and then him coming into this game where it's just Peter Parker, which makes no sense if he's gonna have his own game anyway. Why not just introduce him maybe like at the end, or hint at him, have a couple scenes, not like we'll have to do side missions with him and shit. Like, that's a little bit too much. Like, he could have a little role in the story, like a little part here, and then be like, all right, you got a little taste. Here's the main game with him. For the people who like Miles, because I just never got into that whole take of multiple Spider-Mans, multiple Supermans, multiple Batmans, whatever. And also not down for just changing him to just, I'm sorry, I don't like that. I just don't like it how they're like throwing black people a bone. Throwing me a bone. Like, I don't want that. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry. I just do not want a black Spider-Man. I never will. I don't want a black anything. I don't want your leftovers. Create something new. I don't want your leftovers, people. That's what I'm saying. Don't give me the scraps. You already had the main course, and don't fuck around and give me the scraps. My opinion on that. Anyway, great game. Because I was going to a whole different thing. Let me just get back to the game. Great game. Best story we've had. This stuff could have been like in the movie. Best storyline. I'm interested in the next one. I think it's Green Goblin and Venom are coming back. I kind of don't understand why Harry is going to be Venom. It seems like they're going that way. They might not, but it seems like Harry's going to be Venom. To me, that would be stupid if they do that. Like, I understand they've made great new changes. Yeah, that's a new change. I don't know if I could get behind. I think that's too new. Like, Harry as fucking Venom? Like, I don't know. But I'm definitely willing to give it a try after this game. Like, I'm willing to take a chance. But actually, I probably won't be because I'm getting Xbox, so I don't know when I'll play this game again. But yeah, the next one should be about Green Goblin and Venom. And I think if they do have Harry as Venom, eventually Eddie Brock will get the suit. So this is what I think they're going to do. I think at the end, or by the end of the next one, Eddie Brock will get the suit. He'll take it from Harry, because Harry and Pete, they'll have their whole conflict. Pete will win, and then Harry will change his ways, and the suit will go to Eddie. That's what I'm thinking they're going to do. And then the main thing is going to be about, of course, Green Goblin, but that's going to be the little side plot with Peter and Harry having their conflict, and eventually Peter will win, Harry will recognize his bad ways, it'll go to Eddie. And then in the next game, I think it'll be more about that Venom. We're going to get a little taste of Venom in here. Of course, Doc Ock 2 will be in the second one, I believe. He's not just going away. But the third, after that, after we get done with the whole Green Goblin one, this whole Green Goblin story, because he's going to be the main one, I think, in the second one. After that, it'll go to Venom. And I'm hoping in the third one, it'll be a Venom and Carnage thing. That's what I'm hoping. That's my idea, at least. That's what I think they're going to do. So, that's what I think. And that's pretty much my thoughts on this Spider-Man game. I can't wait. Well, I'm gonna have to wait because I'm not getting the PS5. Sorry, guys, I can't do the PS5. Can't do it. But that's what I think is gonna happen. That's my thoughts. See you about. See y'all. Peace.